I'm back. The chip actually came off relatively easy with the hot air station, and I ran it a lot colder than I have at my previous attempts at desoldering, so making this alloy actually worked pretty well. However, if I were to leave this like this, it would have a lot of resistance and it wouldn't give a really good bond. That's why I really do need solder wick to take care of this, but I don't have it. So I'm kind of just going to act like I have it and cleaned it up and, what do you call it? Already pre-tinned it. I could get some braided wire, but this is just for practice. I have no intention of actually making this work, so I'm not too worried about it. The one thing I did mess up is I got a little excited. I was using this tool to put a little pressure on the chip as I was applying the heat with the hot air gun, and that's why you never really want to pry. I didn't think I was applying too much pressure, but according to this little pin right here, I did, because, well, the tool is underneath. It's still attached to the trace right here, so realistically that could be reused without too much problems, at least from what I've seen. But it's always easier saying than doing, so I guess we'll find out. But I'm just going to try to place that guy right back down, and I'll apply the chip back down, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I gotta turn my soldering station on. But yeah, looking at the LS itself, well, let me take it a little closer down to the board. Alright, so looking at the LS itself, there's not much solder actually left on it. So I feel like it gave a nice clean desolder, other than that one pin that I pried off before it was really melted. So let me take a moment here to line these back up and hopefully get these going. Alright, so I'm going to start down here, tacking down that pin right there. And then I'll move to the diagonal pin from it, the one that I ripped the trace off the board. And then obviously there's too much solder on there, but, well, might help if you could see it, huh? Okay. So obviously there's a little too much solder on here, but I do have no wick, so do not have any wick rather. And yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it. The pins are all lined up, so I'm just gonna go through and try to drag as much as possible with very little solder. If you can see, well, maybe. Alright. Like I said, there's barely any solder on the tip. Um, and that's just to reflow the solder that's already pre-tinned on the pads. Or rather, that terrible, terrible alloy that I should be cleaning off, but we're just going to make it work. Now, this is the first time trying this, so please don't make fun of me too much. Well, hold on. Forgot the most important part. Use the flux. Then also, this Kestra leaded solder is, it does have flux in it, but it doesn't hurt to use more. Realistically, these pins are so far apart, you really don't need drag tip, but I was just trying to apply the technique. Not doing a very good job. But I'll take a closer look at these pins in a little bit, but it looks like they should have all flowed. I'm just going over them one more time. Then I'm not doing such a great job at it, but from what I've seen, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting both the pad and the pin with the heat, and then the flux flows towards, you know, the pin and the pad. So it's looking like I've got everything decently joined. I'm going to apply some rubbing alcohol using my wife's makeup remover Q-tips, because they're a little bit more sturdy than your regular Q-tip. And see if I can't get some of this flux out of here, even though it's no clean flux. I just want to see if I can't get a better look. This video is more for my learning purposes than it is for yours, honestly. But I figured maybe it'll be useful to someone. Don't need my soldering iron anymore. Going down for a closer look. Doesn't that give you such a beautiful picture? Just kidding. Alright, so let's see, looking at, not sure if that's flux or rubbing alcohol. More than likely it's flux that was underneath the chip. that's basically seething out now. So let me apply some more rubbing alcohol and we'll find out. Yeah, might just be some rubbing alcohol that hasn't dried. Or it very well could be the flux. Could grab the hot air gun just to burn it away, but I don't feel like taking it back over. Alright. So I'm just checking to see if there's a... Oh, see that one? That one I did not get a good solder joint on. So I'll come back to that one and touch it up. Just checking for loose pads. Alright, which one was it? Is that one right? Oh, it was this one. Oh, it's like the middle one. I lost it again. Alright. It's that one, right? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Now my luck, I just raised all these up, but we'll find out. Okay. Oh, come on. I wonder if there's just not enough solder in there to bridge that gap. Because since I didn't clean off the pads, there's just way too much solder on them. Alright, we'll try that again. This time with solder. Still don't want to use a lot, but definitely want to make sure. That's looking a lot better. Now to check the other side. Now obviously I would not be applying this much force if I cared about this at all. This is just so I can get more of a feel for it. Because if I were to try to use the force that I'm applying on these pins on, you know, like these pins, I'd probably break a pin. So, alright, so let me go back to this. Ah, there's another one. Ooh, I can go entirely under the pin. I have a feeling that's going to be a lot of these center pins. And that's one, I didn't apply enough pressure on this side, but two, it's again from cleaning the pins, so I've got, not cleaning the pins rather, so I've got a lot of imperfections as far as the height across the chip. Alright, so there's one, there's one, so 1, 2, so it really only looks like I have 2 that need resoldered, reflowed, but it's too many. So I'll just go through and hit them all again. Then if you ever bridge them, it really isn't that hard to fix as long as you have flux and patience. If you can't tell, there's definitely way too much solder on those guys. So I got a little carried away with how much solder I put on the tip. Sorry, it's obvious, I'm sure it's obvious that some parts I'm soldering by hand, some parts I'm soldering with the microscope. And it's just for simplicity. Alright, that's good. That's good. That's good. Good, good, good. Good, good. Alright. So, now, I would honestly say that's safely resoldered. So, yeah, Still too much solder that more than I'd like, rather, on, well, basically all these pins, but I don't have any wick to clean it up, so let's see if I can at least get some of it off. Hey, bridge. Yeah, it's just not flowing off. I was kind of hoping for a bridge. I wanted to try the drag out method. That's what I'll call it. I don't know what it's actually called. Might be drag out. And that looks like, well, complete garbage, but it's honestly my first SMD experience with a multi-pin chip of any type. And yeah, I'm decently proud of it. And I know I need practice, but if you guys see anything significant that I haven't already pointed out, please just let me know, and I'll definitely work on improving it. Thanks for watching.